If you're a single Black mother, I already know something about you. You manage chaos with precision. You budget under pressure. Make decisions with incomplete information. Protect what matters most. And you stay calm when everything is on the line. That's not just motherhood. That's elite trading psychology. The market doesn't reward loud confidence. It rewards discipline, patience, and emotional control. And if you've raised children while holding it together with prayer, grit, and a backup plan, you're not new to trading. You've been training for this your whole life. Now, let me show you why. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room? Just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hopes springing high, still I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard? 'Cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. Maya Angelou. History has a way of underestimating women who survive, especially Black women, especially single Black mothers. Society looks at you and what you've endured and called it a disadvantage, never stopping to realize that pressure didn't crush you, it trained you. You learned how to stand tall when the odds leaned heavy, how to make decisions when there was no safety net, how to keep moving forward even when the room expected you to shrink. You didn't rise because it was easy. You rose because it was necessary. And that same rising spirit, the one that refuses to be defined by loss, scarcity, or silence, is the exact psychology the market demands. Trading isn't about luck. It's about emotional regulation, patience under pressure, and knowing when to act and when to wait. But single Black mothers already do this daily. You manage risk every time you stretch a dollar. You think in probabilities every time you plan for tomorrow. You recover from setbacks from letting them rewrite your identity. That's not accidental. That's mastery. So when I say single Black mothers make great traders, I'm not offering motivation. I'm naming truth. The market doesn't require perfection. It requires resilience. It doesn't reward panic. It rewards composure. And if you've learned how to rise again and again, without applause, without guarantees, without quitting, then you already carry the mindset most traders spend years trying to develop. Now, before I go any further, I want to be completely honest with you, because honesty, it does matter here. I am not a single Black mother. In fact, at the time of recording this video, I've been married for a staggering 14 and a half years. My husband and I have built a life together, and we are raising 3 children, Zena, Zion, and Zavon. By many standards, I have a relatively privileged life. My husband earns a 6-figure income as an engineer, and we live comfortably in the suburbs of North Carolina. I don't wake up worried about how my bills will get paid, whether food will be on the table, or whether my children will have a safe roof over their heads. And I will never pretend that I know, through lived experience, the relentless pressure many Black mothers carry every single day. So the fair question becomes this: why am I qualified to make this video? Because not carrying that burden doesn't mean I don't see you. You see, having what many would call a safety net gives me a type of leverage. It allows me to take risks that are, well, quite frankly, unwarranted. At this point in my trading journey, I have 4 separate trading accounts. And I know without hesitation that I could blow every single one of them and my family would still be okay. That reality gives me flexibility. It gives me emotional space. And in trading, that kind of psychological freedom matters. Risk taking is part of success, but it's far easier to take risks when your survival isn't tied to every decision. My hope is to use what I've learned from that position of privilege to shorten the learning curve for single Black mothers who don't have the margin for costly mistakes, to offer tools, structure, and psychological guidance that might otherwise take years and painful losses to acquire. And while I may not be a single Black mother, I certainly came from one. I grew up watching a woman carry the full weight of responsibility with quiet determination. I saw what it meant to stretch limited resources without complaint. I watched my mother plan, sacrifice, and make strategic decisions, not because she wanted to, but because she had to. I remember her clipping coupons at the kitchen table, carefully stacking them, mapping out which store had which sale, and timing purchases so that the food could stretch just a little further for my brother and myself. There was nothing reckless about her decisions. Everything was intentional. Everything was calculated. And that, right there, is trading psychology. Buying the dip isn't new to single Black mothers. You've been doing it your whole lives. You know how to wait. You know how to conserve. You know how to act when opportunity presents itself, and how to sit tight when it doesn't. Some of the greatest trading lessons I've ever learned came from watching my mother navigate scarcity with wisdom instead of panic. So when I speak to single Black mothers about trading, I do so with respect. I understand the stakes. I understand the pressure. And my hope is that this becomes one more tool added to an already resilient, strategic, and powerful way of moving through the world. So, let's begin. Chaos has never been something you feared. It's something you learn to organize. Single Black mothers don't wait for perfect conditions to act. You move while life is still loud. Between work schedules, school drop offs, unexpected expenses, and emotional labor, you've mastered the ability to bring order to disorder. In the market, that skill translates directly. Charts move fast. News hits unexpectedly. Price spike and pull back without warning. While others freeze or panic, you instinctively start sorting information, prioritizing what matters and ignoring what doesn't. That's precision under pressure, and it's rare. And because you've lived in that space, chaos doesn't hijack your system. You've trained your mind to stay functional when things aren't calm. Trading rewards that exact trait. The ability to stay present when candles are flying, to wait instead of react, to let a plan play out even when emotions are tugging. That composure isn't learned overnight. It's earned through years of handling life without a pause button. What overwhelms others feels familiar to you, and familiarity breeds confidence. Then there's budgeting under pressure. The kind of pressure that doesn't allow mistakes. When resources are limited, every decision carries weight. You've learned how to stretch, allocate, and plan ahead while still accounting for the unexpected. That skill mirrors risk management and trading. You don't bet everything on one moment. You understand position sizes intuitively. You know that survival comes first, growth second. And that mindset alone puts you ahead of most traders who choose profit without protection. More importantly, you don't romanticize recklessness. You understand that sustainability matters more than excitement. In trading, that translates to consistency over impulse. You don't need to win big today if it means losing tomorrow. You're comfortable with small, intentional gains that compound over time because you've lived that reality already. You know how powerful patience can be when it's paired with discipline. You've also become an expert at making decisions with incomplete information. Life rarely gives you all the facts, yet you still move forward. You assess what you know, acknowledge what you don't, and make the best choice available in the moment. Trading works the same way. No chart tells the full story. No setup comes with guarantees. The market rewards those who can act decisively without certainty. And that's a muscle you've been flexing for years. What sets you apart is that you don't crumble when outcomes aren't perfect. You adjust. You recalibrate. You learn quickly because you have to. Losses in trading aren't personal to you. They're informational. You've learned that one decision doesn't define you, and one setback doesn't end the journey. That emotional resilience keeps you in the game long enough to win. At the core of everything you do is protection. You protect your children, your peace, your time, and your future. That instinct shows up powerfully in trading. You respect stop losses. You honor boundaries. You don't stay in situations, financial or emotional, that threaten what you're building. You trade with intention, not ego, because you understand what's truly at stake. And because you know what matters most, you don't get distracted by noise. You're not trading to impress anyone. You're trading with purpose. Every move is connected to something bigger than the screen in front of you. That clarity keeps you grounded when the market tries to shake you. And the market always will try to shake you. Finally, there's the calm, the kind that shows up when everything is on the line. You've had moments where panic should have been justified, but you didn't choose it. You chose steadiness. That calm isn't passive, it's powerful. In trading, calm is currency. It allows you to wait, to see clearly, and to act with confidence instead of fear. So when the chart tests your patience, When a trade pulls back before it moves forward. When uncertainty creeps in, you don't unravel. You breathe. You trust the process. You stay. And that, more than any indicator or strategy, is what separates those who survive the market from those who thrive in it.
Pause. Before you scroll, before you open another chart, before you take the next trade, just pause for one moment. And first, I want to genuinely thank you for watching this channel. Because if you're here, chances are you're trying to figure this market out. And that alone takes courage. Trading is exciting when it's working, but when it's not, it can feel frustrating, confusing, and even a little defeating. You study indicators, you watch videos, you try to follow strategies, but somehow the market still moves in ways that leave you thinking, why did it reverse right after I entered? Why does it hit my stop and then go exactly where I thought it would? Well, let me say something that many trading channels won't tell you. Most traders aren't struggling because they lack intelligence. They're struggling because they're trying to trade without clear levels and structure. They're reacting emotionally instead of preparing strategically. That's exactly why I created our free trading community. Inside the group, I share the exact SPY levels I'm watching for the next trading day, the areas where the market is most likely to react. These levels give you something every trader needs but rarely has: clarity. Instead of guessing, you're prepared. Instead of chasing, you're patient. Instead of trading fearfully, you're trading with structure. And the best part, it's completely free. So if you want access to tomorrow's SPY levels and a community of traders learning to approach the market with discipline and confidence, join the free group in the description below. Then come back here and comment levels so I can personally welcome you into the community. You don't have to navigate the market alone. Let's trade with clarity.
Many single Black mothers have known relational instability long before they ever opened a brokerage account. Growing up without a father present, navigating an emotionally unavailable mother, struggling with an abuse history, or learning to survive betrayal and infidelity forces a kind of early awareness. You learn to read the room. You learn to sense shifts in tone. You learn to detect when something feels off. That hyper-awareness, while born from pain, is actually a refined emotional radar. In trading, that sensitivity becomes discernment. You notice when the market is behaving differently. You feel when momentum is weakening. Emotional intelligence, sharpened through survival, becomes strategic perception. If you grew up without consistent protection, you likely learned to protect yourself. That self-protection often meant becoming independent, self-reliant, and careful about where you placed your trust. In relationships, that may have felt heavy, but in the market, it's powerful. You don't blindly follow hope. You don't hand your confidence to strangers on the internet promising quick wins. You verify, you observe, you take responsibility. That cautious strength is risk management in human form. If you experienced emotional unavailability from either parent, you probably learned to regulate your own feelings because no one else did it for you. You may have comforted yourself, talked yourself down, held your own tears, and kept moving. That capacity to self-soothe is gold in trading. When a position pulls back, you don't collapse. When a trade doesn't go your way, you don't spiral into shame. You've already practiced stabilizing your nervous system in harder situations than a red candle on a chart. For those who endured infidelity or betrayal, the lesson was painful but clarifying. Not everything that looks committed truly is. You learn to look beyond surface appearances. You learn that consistency matters more than promises. In the market, that translates into waiting for confirmation. You don't fall in love with the setup too early. You don't assume loyalty for price action. You require proof. That restraint protects your capital. Some of you became peacemakers in chaotic homes. You managed conflict, mediated arguments, and tried to keep emotional storms from escalating. That experience built patience and timing. You learned that reacting too quickly can make things worse. In trading, timing is everything. You don't jump in at the first flicker of movement. You wait for structure. You understand that sometimes the most powerful move is doing nothing. Others learned resilience through repeated disappointment. You hoped, you trusted, you were let down, and yet you kept loving. That resilience, when redirected, becomes perseverance in the market. You don't quit after a losing streak. You don't internalize setbacks as identity. You understand that one chapter doesn't define the whole story. And that mindset keeps you in the game long enough to compound growth. So here's the refrain. The relational pain was never wasted. It trained you in emotional intelligence, boundary setting, discernment, patience, and resilience. Those are not soft skills. They are trading edges. The market is an emotional ecosystem. It punishes impulsivity and rewards self-awareness. And if you've learned to navigate complex emotional landscapes in relationships, you already possess the internal toolkit many traders spend years trying to develop. Your history didn't disqualify you. It prepared you. Single Black mothers are known for their reliability long before they're ever known for their rest. You show up when you're tired. You show up when no one is clapping. You show up when the world assumes you'll figure it out, because you always do. For family, for work, for community, for children who are watching your every move. You carry responsibility like a second heartbeat. And over time, that constant outward focus becomes so natural that choosing yourself can feel unfamiliar, even uncomfortable. You're the one people call when something falls apart. You're the backup plan, the emotional anchor, the steady presence in rooms full of uncertainty. You've learned how to anticipate needs before they're spoken and solve problems before they could become crises. But the cost of being everyone's safety net is that your own dreams often get postponed, quietly tucked away under the belief that, well, one day you'll get to them. But the truth is, your capacity to hold others has always come from strength. Yet that strength deserves investment too. This is where the invitation changes. Entering the market isn't about abandoning your values or becoming someone else. It's about redirection, a fraction of the care you already give outward and pouring it back into yourself. Trading is not selfish. It's strategic. It's a way of building capacity so that your future generosity doesn't come from depletion, but from overflow. You've already proven you can show up under pressure. Now it's time to show up with intention. When you invest in yourself, something powerful shifts. You stop surviving from decision to decision and start planning from vision to vision. The market becomes a tool, not a gamble, not a distraction, but a structured way to grow confidence, discipline, and financial agency. You begin to see yourself not only as a provider, but as a builder. And builders change bloodlines. There's a quiet transformation that happens when a woman chooses herself without apology. Confidence deepens, boundaries strengthen, fear loses its grip. As you learn to trust yourself in the market, that trust spills into every other area of your life. You make clearer decisions. You model courage for your children. You teach them not with words, but with action. That stability and growth are not accidents. They are skills. And here's the truth most people miss. The greatest impact you will ever have on others begins with the impact you make in yourself. You cannot pour wisdom from an empty well. You cannot teach resilience while ignoring your own potential. When you build wealth, patience, and self-trust, you don't just change your life. You expand what's possible for everyone connected to you. So this is not a call to do more. It's a call to do differently. To take the same commitment you've always given to others and apply it inward. Because when you rise intentionally, financially, psychologically, and strategically, you don't leave anyone behind. You lead them forward. Some of my earliest lessons in investing didn't come from a classroom or a chart. They came from a Sunday afternoon at the kitchen table. I can still see my mother sitting there, the newspaper spread wide, scissors in hand, moving with intention. Coupons were clipped carefully, not rushed. She circled prices, compared stores, and stacked savings like quiet victories. There was a rhythm to it, a calm focus. This wasn't desperation, it was strategy. Even as a child, I could see that something important was happening in those moments. She wasn't just cutting coupons, she was creating opportunity. What I didn't realize then was that I was watching the earliest version of buying the dip. My mother never paid full price if she didn't have to. She waited, she planned. She understood that value isn't about what something costs today. It's about what it's worth over time. When prices dropped, she leaned in. When they were inflated, she held back. That same discipline lives at the heart of investing. Buying the dip isn't about chasing. It's about patience, preparation, and recognizing opportunity when others are too distracted to see it. Years later, when I learned about market pullbacks and Fibonacci levels, something clicked. The charts felt familiar. The waiting felt familiar. The discipline, it felt inherited. Little did I know my mother had been planting seeds in me all along. Seeds of delayed gratification, strategic thinking, and trust in timing. Investing is, at its core, seed planting. You don't panic because nothing shows up overnight. You nurture. You wait. You let time and intention do their work. Just like those Sundays at the table. And now, more than 30 years later, life has come full circle. My mother and I are investing together in the markets. In fact, she was my first student, the first person I ever shared Fibonacci levels with in real time. Watching her apply those same instincts she always had, now with charts and structure, has been one of the most meaningful moments of my career. It reminded me that wisdom doesn't expire, it evolves. That's why I share these levels. They remove confusion. They give you clarity, structure, and emotional grounding so you don't have to guess. You know where price is likely to react. You know when to wait and when to act. And just as importantly, you're not doing it alone. Inside the community, you're supported. guided and equipped with both technical tools and the psychology to use them well. So if you're ready to plant seeds instead of chasing outcomes, if you're ready to trade with intention instead of fear, I invite you to join us. Learn the levels, build confidence, grow alongside a community that sees you and believes in your capacity. And if this message resonated, comment below, like this video, and subscribe, because this journey is better when we rise together. You've got this. Peace and blessings, Dr. O.